Hey, what's up there, guys and gals? I was just working on my stuff here and decided to do some organizing or even filing of all these mostly non-automotive ads that I have here. You know, I have a lot of vintage magazine ads and pictures like this, if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Like this ad here, Christmas Firestone ad. And all that. Anyway, so I need to keep organizing this stuff because when I sell something, it's got to a point. And fuck, I have over on average 1,200 ads of ads. Well, not all ads. Some of them is photos. A lot of it, or half of it, is photos. But anyway, so I need to organize this stuff because when I'm sometimes selling ads, I need to find certain ads that takes too long because they're not filed away like here in my filing cabinet, which is pretty much filled with mostly my car advertisements and, you know, transportation related items, planes, motorcycles, buses, and I got it all filed down also, especially when it comes to car makes. That cul-de-sac sign, I don't usually do trash picking, but it was in there, so if you want to give me $10 for it, well, it's yours. I might even deliver it in Montreal, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, this book, this book, man. This is the only book I ever wrote. And oddly enough, it's funny when I looked at when I did this, because it was when I was 11, which was 1987, so 30 years ago almost, you know, if that. And you can see that at that time I was a foamer, man. I used to love to go to Ted's Hobby Shop in Point Claire Plaza there with my old man or my parents and buy, you know, tracks or, you know, HO railroad cars and stuff. And anyway, that's a whole other story. But like, man, it's amazing that I still have this. I mean, fuck, I'm 41 years old. I was 11 when I did this. I'm 41 years old. Anything could have happened. I could have got hit by a Mack truck. I could have got hit by a GM New Look. I could have had a fucking heart attack and died, a stroke, and blah, 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 blah. I'm still here. Even though, unfortunately, I have not necessarily aged the best due to my mental state. And the state of the fucking world, nevertheless. So, on a positive note, let's go back to 1987 where I was 11. And yeah, my life was so simple, it's incredible. I've always been blessed, even though I'm not religious, blessed, fortunate to have had a great childhood, great family. My dad died years ago, but my mom, she's still around. So yeah, so obviously, so not obviously, but there's an illustration here of like a big boy locomotive, right? That's the big one. That's the coolest locomotive ever made. Sorry, in terms of steam locomotives, that's right up there with a F-unit. F-unit being the coolest diesel locomotive ever created. Look it up. Now, the name of the book, Jimbo the Locomotive. Well, Jimbo, that was a nickname of my father. His father's name was James, or AKA Jim, or Jimmy. So, yeah, I was in grade 5, man, you know. Gloria, what do you think? Eh? Hello, Gloria. What are you looking at? You gotta eat some bugs, it's your job. Hmm? So yeah, here we go. Jimbo the Locomotive. Okay, the lighting on this is a little, let's see, it's annoying. I'm trying to find see, look at that, written and illustrated, but obviously my spelling wasn't great. I had to do a little whiteout job on that. And illustrated by, one word. Yes, my name is Elton McFALL, and back in the day when I was a little kid, I didn't have a deep voice at all. That rhymes. Anyway, I could see what I'm not going to read the whole thing. I think I'll just let you read it because the quality's fantastic. This is not like the quality of our parents back in the day playing Pong, you know? La familia. So yeah, so like on every second page, I use my artistic skills to draw trains. There's a great excuse to draw trains. Obviously, I probably enjoy doing that more than the writing part. Like, what does it say here? This is pretty much like a knockoff of Thomas the Tank Engine, you know, sort of. Yeah. Here we go. Here we got a roundhouse here. So I'm holding the camera one hand. It's a little tricky. With the turntable. I heard that song playing somewhere loud. Where was it? I was in a video. One day, all the engines in the freight yard were all tired of pushing and pulling. I'm tired of serving the people in this yard, said Bob. See, look at that. Even back then, I understood about, you know, protesting and strikes, you know. Me too, said Brian. Brian is also the name of my uncle who died. My brother's brother. My dad's brother, excuse me. I say we all run away in the middle of the night, said Tom. Ooh, look at that. Hey, running away at night. Isn't that amazing? Full moon, of course. You know, when you're a kid, everything a lot of it is about, you know, how should I say, making things look better than they, or more interesting than they are, I guess. For once you're right, said Jimbo. One of all the engines, what does it say? One night all the engines moved out of their garage very quietly. They were all doing 5 miles per hour. The conductor saw the engines running away. Stop, said the conductor, but they wouldn't listen, so the conductor called the who? The conductor called the controller and told him what had happened. I'm actually reading this while I'm looking at this viewfinder. I'm not sure it's the best idea. I like the way I did that T, by the way, for the old school. The controller thought of a plan. It was 10:15 in the morning. You know, seriously, I don't think I've read this since like I did this. You know what I mean? Really. It was 10:15 in the morning. The engines were still tracking. I think I meant to write trucking. I don't know. I was staying there. Paul asked, "Where are you going?" "We're going to New York," said Bob. "Because we've got a relations at Central Station." We've got relations, not relatives. I wrote relatives. No, said Charlie. In the afternoon. Boy, this is actually pretty well thought out, considering I was 11 years old, a little kid. Wow, we had a roadblock. Look at this. There's the illustration of the engines running away. Paul, George, and Ringo. I'm just kidding about that. One of them is Paul. Oh yeah, look at this. Then I decided to do this pile up here. Man, I'm really glad to be sharing this with you guys. Seriously, you know, this was some effort nevertheless. I mean, at that age, I mean, Christ, concentration was never my forte. Frankly, I think before I started taking lithium, it was much worse. I'm sure you wouldn't be surprised if I told you guys I stayed back an extra year in high school. And I did, what, a year of CJEP? You know, a couple of night school classes. Oh, man, you know what? This is, I don't think this is a stain. It just looks like discoloration or something from humidity. I don't know. Charlie, eh? Jesus, this is actually pretty long. Yeah. By the way, I mean, I'm sure I didn't copy anything of these drawings. This is all like everything that I drew. I'm sure I didn't look at anything. You know, I remember, especially in high school, when people were drawing things, they had a reference. You know, they had a picture, a photo, or whatever. But most of the stuff I've ever done, I didn't. But when I did my nice drawings of cars and trucks, like really nice, you know, like everything colored and everything, 11 by 17 inside. Oh yeah, like that Roadrunner, yeah. For example, let's stop here for a second. That Roadrunner right there, totally. I had a picture I used from a 1989 American Cars book, encyclopedia actually, I think. Yeah, you see the lens is, she's giving me a little problem. The lens, fuck, pain in the ass. Anyway, go back here. We're almost done. That's it. That's it, man. Just short and sweet, you know? show too. Obviously, I love that a lot there with Ringo Starr. You know? Yeah. Crane there. Yeah, so it's really, I'm really glad to share this with you guys. It's something that I've always been really proud of. It's childish, and it totally represents who I was at that time. You know, I loved trains and I loved cars and I loved drawing them. And I'd never written anything before really, unless I think it was for school as an assignment. But something lengthy like this. I mean, what is it, a page or whatever? Still, at 11 years old, it's a big fucking deal, you know. There's my signature. I mean, I'll cherish this forever. I wouldn't sell that for $1 million. So, seriously, to sell this would be like selling a piece of my life away. And I don't just mean like when I sold a bunch of my die-cast cars, whatever. Those fucking things, I didn't make them. I bought them like that. And I mean the die-cast. I don't mean like the plastic ones at the top. That's another story. But this is one of a kind. Again, this is something that represents, and I look at this and inspired me because I'm like, yeah, that's who I was, and this is pretty much what I am today still. Not doing exactly the same thing. I mean, I'm drawing and then doing a canvas, but I'm doing the videos and I'm still doing photography. I fucking love it. And occasionally, you know, I sell a painting here and there, or, you know, I make regular revenue with what I do. To me, when you're an artist, it's very important to stay creative, because if you don't create anything in a long time, you'll get depressed about it, or you're really not doing well. You know, I mean, I'm not going through a best time right now, past couple of weeks there. I don't want to go into it. I don't like really discussing a lot of my personal life. But, you know, hopefully it's going to pass. I mean, whatever. So, and sometimes, you know, making a YouTube video about like that, something like that, related to that, or not even, or about me, but it can make you feel better, you know. It's kind of sort of meditative sometimes, you know. Anyway, on this has become a cloudy evening. Yep, I washed all my windows, by the way, except for the ones in my room. Riveting, isn't it? If you want that cul-de-sac sign there, I come pick it up. And that's it, man. You know, I hope you all are doing a fine evening there. And yeah, I'm a little tired. I almost feel like a coffee. So that's it. So you guys take it easy, and I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Bye-bye.